David, what did you guys spend the international break working on?
Well, we're working on a lot of different things, trying to get the group fitness up, like we always are trying to do. Working on the structure of the team. When I look at the last game, I think there were a lot of good things there. We just didn't score the goals again, and so obviously finishing off our chances, keep creating the chances, and making sure that we swing the momentum in our favour.
Do you feel like, I know a lot of coaches like kind of the rhythm of having games week after week after week. Do you feel like having an international break, having a bit of time to reset again, is actually kind of a good thing in this situation?
It can go both ways. I don't think so. I think we, again, result wasn't good, but the way we played, the way we scored the first goal, created a couple more chances was good. We just need to finish it off, and obviously on the back end, conceding goals when there's not really there wasn't that much danger in that previous game. We've had other games where there's been more threats. This game wasn't that case. So the performance was there. So the more time, no, I think I would have preferred having a game straight away, but it is what it is. We've had multiple breaks now of 2 weeks at the back end of the season, so that's the way the draw's gone. But yeah, I mean, for us, we're raring to go to play this next game.
How's Adam Taggart pulled up? Obviously, he suffered that slight groin issue on the international break. How's he looking?
Yeah, he's looking all right. I mean, it was unfortunate that he wasn't ready in time to go to China. He would have loved to do that, but it's not as bad as or nothing more than that. I just think it was too early to go to China, but I think he's in contention for the weekend.
Is he a chance to start? Do you think you'll kind of look to limit his minutes a bit?
We'll see how he goes. I mean, he trained today, so yeah, it was just unfortunate for him because it was a small niggle and actually something that he's had before as well, and just put him out for a few days. But now he's back in training, and we'll just monitor the next couple of days and see how he goes.
Obviously, he's been so good for you in the final third this year. If he isn't right to go, if he has a slight issue, what's the plan around? I guess it's hard to replace everything he does, but how do you replace 70, 80, 90% of what he brings?
Well, it's a team game. We're not just relying on Tags, although you can see by the stats that he's the one creating the most chances and scoring the most goals. So that has been an issue. The goal contributions from around the park, but we also, we played a game in Brisbane when we won our first game of the season, and Tags wasn't there. So the guys are able to work hard to put in a team effort. But at the moment, Tags is trained today, so it's too early to go into that.
Does it change when you have someone like Tags? Does it change the way you kind of set up Tag, because he is so good at dropping in? He's very good at using his body to hold off defenders, lay off link. Jalen Pearman kind of is, he's more of a midfielder that likes to drift in and out. Is it? What's the plan around, I guess, utilising your attackers, to the best of their skills?
Yeah, you just mentioned the different attributes. So Jalen's got different attributes to a Woody, where it's an out-and-out striker next to him, which makes runs to then alleviate some of the pressure on Tags, whereas Jalen would drop in and get on the ball and then provide a different threat. But just what you mentioned there, we're changing a lot of those every week, and it's not the same lineup every week. So then Tags is constantly playing with different players, but he is always getting chances, which is important. When you look at his statistics, he scored 7 goals and could have had a few more. So even with the lack of chances, particularly in the first half of the season that we've had, but recently we've had more chances, and the group know it. We want more goals. We're creating the chances. We need to continue to do that, but we need to finish them off.
You are kind of creating more chances than you were at the start of the season. That's obviously something that has improved. Do you still feel that there's room for a few extra? You can create even more chances and maybe chances closer to goal.
Yeah, I mean but it's also the momentum in the game. I mean, we started the game against Brisbane and everything was perfect. We score, we create another couple of chances, which is great. Then the goal goes in against us, and then it flattens a bit of the momentum. And I think that's something that we have to, we've been challenged with the whole season. So Then you look at the last game against Central Coast, the last few minutes, 15 minutes, we created a lot of chances and just didn't get the finish again. So that's been the issue is firstly, different team from the start of the season. Now we're creating more chances, just need to finish off and score more goals.
How much did you take out about last game against Central Coast where you looked really good and it was just one unfortunate error really which cost you all 3 points?
Every game is different. When we played there, it was a 0-0 draw, and that was a tough game. And different team again, different way of playing. Now we were a little bit more aggressive, a lot more aggressive at home. Yeah, it's another game we should have won. It's disappointing, but this is going to be a different game travelling away over there. They're also got, they haven't had the season they've had previous couple of years, so it's going to be a tough match.
Dave, have you been a little bit surprised? You mentioned there that the Mariners have struggled a little bit this season after being so impressive last year. Has that surprised you a little bit?
Yes and no. I mean, they've got some of the players that their core there that played in the last couple of years, but they've also missed players, and those missed players have meant that it's not the same cohesion that they had in the previous years. I think when you change players, even if it's 3 or 4, if they're the main players, it does change the lineup and the cohesion. And you see, look, they've got a very, very good back line. One of the best in the league, I think. But still, it doesn't stop you from conceding goals because they don't always have the pressure up front by scoring goals, and that alleviates a lot of that. And I think that cohesion comes from the whole group. And I think they've also changed a lot. They've been chopping and changing and trying to find the best mix, and hasn't been easy for them either, and a lot of expectation on them because they've won the last couple of seasons. But those changes have an impact.
As Ben mentioned, nothing to choose between the two sides in the previous meetings this season. Likely to be the same again on Sunday, expecting another time?
I think so. I mean, we're both really desperate for a win. You saw that in their last games as well, and obviously with our games, where performances have been much better, but we need the wins, and nothing changes. We've got 5 games, so I'm expecting just the same battle that we've had in the last 2 games against them.
And just finally, we had Josh Risdon in earlier on, subject to selection, set to make a new record for Perth Glory in terms of A-League appearances. Would you just speak to that a little bit, maybe?
Yeah, to have that kind of a record for anyone is amazing, So how hard it is to be a footballer. So someone to rack up those kind of stats and to have a milestone like that is a big achievement. And he's a credit to the game, not just our club, but he's been in the A-League for a long, long time. I think he's right up there in assists as well. So for a right back, a defensive player, he actually creates a lot of chances. And he's been a great advocate for the game, and he's also been very good for us. In the tough period, he's stood up and he's been a leader and helped us through some of those really tough times. And also now, he's one of the ones that stands up and tries to help the guys. So, pumped for him, and obviously a big milestone.